Tēnā rā koutou katoa e te iwi. Nau mai e rarau ki tēnei pāpā o tangamata ora i tēnei ata te tai te tikau mā iwa o aku hata nei kama i ki a koutou. Aku tai mai te tokorua nei ko rāua ngā me ki ngā kai arataki, ngā kai wakaare o ngā iwi o Taranaki. Nei kua hono mai a matua Wharehoka Wano rāua tai ko Liana Poutu. Kei tōku tuakana Liana, kura tai ko matua whare tēnei kamihi atu ki a korua. Ata Mārie.
Ata Mārie e.
Ata Mārie.
Ata Mārie kia kōrua tahi. E te Wano, for those of you who are watching our live stream this morning on Te Kurimako o Taranaki Facebook page, and those of you who are linked in via the radio frequencies of 94.8 and 98.4 FM, Whare Kōrero app, iHeartRadio, kia ora, tēnā koutou. Joining us this morning, we are so lucky to have two of our iwi leaders who are a part of the Taranaki Iwi Leaders Forum, who are the CEs and also the chairs of all of our Taranaki iwi. And they join us this morning, Matua Wharehoka Wano and also Liana Poutu, to share with us some important key messages with regards to the current situation we're faced with right across the motu, but specifically with information for us as ngā uri o Koro Taranaki. Nō reira, ka tuku te wā ki a korua, ki te tuku i ngā mihi ki ho tātou iwi.
Tēnā koe, Tamzyn, tēnā koutou te wana o te korimako. Tainua ki maua e wakakanohi mai, ngā hea mana ngā tumuaki wakarai o ngā iwi o Taranaki. E tangi ana i runga i te akwatanga ko te matauru tāko hoki mai ki roto i a Aotearoa, tainua ki a Taranaki maunga, tai hoake ki a karo tōna akwatanga. Ngari me ia aina e te rānei, ko te takaimā iwa, aina nahi ko te takaimā waru tōna tikanga ki runga o Pariaka papakainga kua korangia, ka tika, ki a tiaki te wakapapa te mahi nui. Tai atu ki tōna wakarite kua haere tātou ki te kīngi, te koronei ana tōna tikanga, anō nei nā tēnei mateuru tāko wakakorangia. I rā watanga era, engari te rānei ka kōrero hia māua, tātou me ki, mo te mateiru tā, the Delta strain has taken us right back into lockdown, Tamzyn in the Taranaki Wano, and certainly the Iwi Chairs Forum and the CEs have kicked into life again. It was like, I think Liana and I were back on the Zoom call yesterday at 3 p.m. and it was like we were back in March last year, but I think we're a little bit wiser. But we've certainly got some key messages we wanted to jump on today with you guys. So thanks for the opportunity. This Delta strain is a different strain. It's a different ahua, and we're second day into lockdown, and there's things that we really want to promote back to our people in some of the things we're putting in place. So kia ora tātou, Leo.
Ana, o tēnā koe Tamzyn, korua tahi ko Wharehoka. Ai, tautoko ana i ngā mea i kua mea, ka tika hoki te tuku whakaaro ki tō tātou whānau ki Parihaka, e hāpai tonu ana i te kaupapa o te 18 me te 19, huri no ki tō tātou nei kēngi, i tēnei wiki, tēnei rā tonu, I mua i te noho haumaru, I haere tahi ana tātou o te maunga, ki rungi a tūranga waiwai, engari tēnei wā. Kei te tuku aroha me te whakaaro a wairua rā, ki tō tātou nei kēngi. He wiki nui hoki tēnei nā te mea, ko tēnei te wiki e maumahara ki tō tātou nei pāpā tā paora. I te 14 ko tērā tana rā maumahara, te koutou kua pahure, mai tana wehinga I tēnei ao, nā reira ka tika me tuku whakaaro ki aia, me te whānau Reeves, me ngā kaupapa maha, me ngā mahi rangatira tā paora, nā reira. Ai, huri noa ki a tātou, e kaha tonu ana, ki te kōkiri ngā kaupapa maha o te wā, tēnā tātou. Yeah, so a little bit deja vu-ish. We've been here before, whānau. Everyone's saying that. We've been here before. I think this time around, we're still waiting for information. We'll get more info today and tomorrow to see how whether we stay at level 4 or not, and whether, lockdown's extended. So we're just sitting really, taking some time to line some things up, and get prepared should we go into a longer lockdown. But I guess the key messages are ones that our whānau have heard many times, no doubt. Please stay home. Under alert level 4, please stay home and stay safe, whānau. We don't want you roaming around, because this Delta variant is far more contagious than what we were dealing with last time. And it's also airborne. So just being in close proximity to people can pass it on. And so, under level 4, we should be staying home unless we're going out to get essential kai or to the chemist or to the doctors. So just really encouraging us to stay home, because I think the longer, we don't want to be in a lockdown for a long period of time. So the way we can prevent that from happening is trying to contain things by staying home. In some of the, we hear things about people like, oh, I haven't got COVID, I haven't been to any of those places, but you never know. So really keen for those of you that might have symptoms to please go and get tested. And for those of you that have been at any of the locations of interest, you might be in Tāmaki, or you might have travelled to Tāmaki or Coromandel. If you've been to any of those locations of interest, go and get tested, because you never know. A lot of people that are testing, or not a lot, some of those that are testing positive don't have any symptoms. They feel fine. So that's why we're really encouraging our whānau to get out and do those. And just same things, hand washing, face masks are mandatory now. If you're going to the supermarket or the petrol station or the chemist, you have to wear a face mask now. And so just really reminding us of those. We know those, and scanning and recording our movements. Probably got a little bit, many of us didn't scan as much as we probably should have in the last few weeks, but we really need to get onto that now, whānau. So those are probably some of the key messages from our Iwi Cheers Forum that we want to share and make sure that we're reminding our whānau to do.
Tēnā koe, Liana. Heo tano tēnā rau atu korua. At times like this, I know a lot about Wano, even our Wano who are watching right now over in Australia. Our relations are tuned in, watching over in Adelaide and over in Brisbane and over in Perth right now. We're sending you all so much love as well, particularly those of our relations who are living in the New South Wales area. Ko te arohai tuku, ko te arohai rereki koutou. And they are also very worried about us. And at times like this, we do turn to you both, into our Iwi Leaders Forum for, comfort and for, messages, kōrero. So it is really special and really important to have you both on today, knowing farewell yesterday you had your first hui with the Iwi Cheers and the Iwi Leaders. What were some of the other kōrero that you talked about yesterday that we should all be aware of at this time?
Yeah, I think the main message is Liana's covered, and we're going to keep reiterating it. It is really only going out, and if you need to. There's going to be a little bit of a different level of enforcement around level 4, and it's good to have our ahitareiri at Wano tuning in, because there's whether they went into a similar situation that we're doing. Our Prime Minister's taken us instantly into lockdown, whereas over in some parts of Australia it was a little bit of a slower response, and so you've seen the impact over there as the numbers rise. So we're really saying stay home and just only go out when you need to. And the whole face mask issue. I know we were out having a bit of a walk around Waitara yesterday, just when we got a chance, and wearing the face mask seems a bit strange out in the open, but we need to do it. And And then the tracer. I know we all, including myself, went a bit slack in the end, but we need to be tracing our steps, and especially if this goes a little bit deeper. Other things we talked about, just to be aware of, tangihanga, of course. We're getting messages, very clear messages, tangihanga, public tangihanga are not permitted. Now we've got to deal with those scenarios as they come upon us. And of course, today we were supposed to be taking our kawe mate for 2 years back up to Tūranga Waiwai. So, all those things come into play. So, our clear message, Tamzyn, into the Wano is, stay home, stay safe. Let's get a sense of this over the next day or two. It's still a little bit early to know just how deep we're going to go on this. And so, we've just got to get ourselves settled. I know we spent our teams just getting ourselves settled back into the lockdown mode, making sure that you're safe in your own little bubble, and being cautious. I know in terms of our protocol and our tikanga of us embracing and hongi and seeing each other when we see each other. We're going to go into that sort of, do I hongi or don't I hongi, all that sort of stuff that, well, no, we don't. We've just got to keep that 2 meter distance if we're crossing each other out and when we're out walking, which you can do, but only for those, get out of the house only when you need to.
Tēnā koe mātua Wharehoka. Kia korua tahi, he pātai tēnei, ko tai mai te tihi o te wano. Do you need volunteers to help with any mahi that might need to be done for our iwi? So will you be going into that mode again where the iwi leaders forum will be looking after our wano, and will you need any volunteers? Koe rata pātai.
Aroha, random child in the back of my
Kia ora, baby.
Bring them in. Leo will talk a little bit. We've already kicked our welfare ohu into place, and that it will be different at this early stage, whānau. Things like checkpoints, probably not, because we haven't got that ability to go out and mobilise. But we need to be very conscious of if different parts of the country in the next few weeks are going to close down and we open up and those sorts of things. We need to determine what we do at those points. But I think that we're keen as iwi to support as best we can, but it probably won't be things like hand delivering personally to the homes. So koutou e tono mai, thanks for those that are putting their hand up to support. But if we do support with health packs and those sorts of things, they will be delivered by the right people that are going through the right restrictions, those sorts of things that we're looking to plan and prepare for. Leo?
Kia ora. Ka te pai aku tamariki nāne. I think exactly what Wharehoka said. We're going to monitor it as we go in terms of what we need. Right now, we don't need any volunteers for any mahi, but we've got our teams in the background that are planning. Should we stay in lockdown for a longer period of time? Should regions be locked down and we have checkpoints established? All of those things we're doing some planning on, and we'll definitely let whānau know where we're at with those. But we've, as Wharehoka said, we've got other things to consider this time, which is the risk to those people that are out in our communities. Aroha. Kei konei ati au
Morena.
ki te whānau.
Morena. Yeah, so as Liana's indicating, so we'll certainly monitor, but being able to just go into do things we may have been able to do and live the first lockdown, quite different with the strain because it's in the air.
Tuka. He pata anō rā tēnei kia korua, papa whare peangi. Will we be having the karakia? Will you be conducting?
Kia ora tātou, kare no kia kōrero, but we'll certainly monitor the next day or two. Tēnā koe mo
Tērā
tērā
pātai
tono.
ni pā.
Yeah, it makes sense. I know we were doing the Sunday evening, so just watch the space really, Wano. I know they become an important part of us supporting each other in this virtual world that we're going to find ourselves in, and we'll see what the next 48 hours brings us, whānau. So just watch the Kurimako comms and our other comms. Kia ora tātou.
Rawe. And the other question that has come through is, will our iwi offices be open for Wano to ring and have somebody to talk to?
Yes, most certainly. With both our iwi starting, all of our iwi starting to mobilise. Just how we reach out. If you remember, we reached out with phone calls. Our offices are closed, but we have got contact numbers that have gone out on our comms to come at us on different things.
Yeah, there's
awesome.
also
that was a question. Yes, sis.
So we're working with Tui Order as well, and so Tui Order have stood up their 0800 number, 0800 Tui Order, which is 0800 884 672, and so that number, while it's there for Tui Order patients as well, it's also there as a general helpline if you need information or you're feeling a bit anxious about anything. Then our Tui Ora whānau are there to lend a listening ear and help support you or point you in the right direction for support. So that's another another whānau that's there helping us through this as well. Yeah. Actually,
Wonderful.
while I talk about Tui Order, I might just mention, so some people have asked questions about vaccinations because they were stopped or they were paused yesterday. So we know that the vaccination program is back on from today. So those of you that were booked in should have been contacted already. But those of you that want to book in, please make contact. There's the online booking system, but you can go through Healthline as well if you want to book in. I know they're running a Tui Order are at the Knox Church today because they have to manage the social distancing. So Knox Church in Waitara is where Tui Order will be rather than their usual office, and also around the Maunga, so in Manaia. I think Ngā Ruahine have got theirs in Hawera, Ngāti Ruanui are doing vaccinations there. And then there's two sites in New Plymouth on the one way there, and also where it's been for a number of weeks, and also at Base Hospital. So I think from a call we were on this morning, near Whare, if you want a vaccination and you're over 18, that they're going to take bookings from any age group for us in Taranaki. So you don't need to wait for age groups now. Just if you're eligible and you want one, you can get one. Yeah.
Oh, that is awesome. That is great. Thank you so much for sharing that. Te patai nui tērā. And it has come through as well from our Wano. Whilst we have our Matua Wharehoka and also our Liana Poutu with us, if you do have patai, thank you to those of you that are sending through your questions. If you have any more whilst we still have them with us here, speaking to our iwi, our Wano, then by all means send through your patai. Matua Wharehoka, someone has just asked about the Koroneihana photographs. They saw a post come through from the Kingitanga to send through the photos for the live stream.
Ka pai, well, kai te wakarite ko ki te atu ai te tahi pānui no te kingi, no te Koroneihana. So I will follow that up and work back with our whānau just around, I know that on the King's Day there is a service at 10 a.m. And we're just waiting for instructions just how that will be managed. So I'll certainly pānui back out to our Wano on our sort of Facebook pages, whānau. So yeah, kia wakara nui nei tērā i te mea kua rua taunā nei. Ka rea no kia ki ronga i te kingi, ka rea no kia kawe o tātou mate ki ronga i aia, o etahi o tātou mate nui. No reira, tērā, engari ka wakatūtuki roto i te āuatanga o tēnei āuatanga. I just probably the other one, just to branch on from Liana spoke to Tui Ora just in the north, but you've also got Ruanui health providers and health service and Ruahine that they're coordinating themselves in terms of what's happening down there in the south too, team. So just watch out for those comms.
Awesome. Liana, he kōrero anō tā.
Oh, Carl, just to say that, you know, we are working together. We've learned a lot from the last lockdown. So in terms of our Taranaki Iwi Chairs and CEOs Forum, we've got our connects now in with the police and civil defence and DHB. So we are really trying to coordinate things from our end. I know people are probably getting bombarded with messages from different things, but I'm a fan of, you know, no one ever complained about getting too much notice or too much information. And so sometimes you have to sift your way through it, but certainly, you know, just Liana kia koutou o te korimako. We know korimako shares a lot of our iwi pānui as well. And so that's a good central point to come to, as well as your iwi, you know, your iwi comms channels will be trying to filter through information so that you're getting really succinct pānui. So just watch out for those kinds of channels in terms of the messaging. But can't stress it enough, Wano. Just stay put. You know, if we want to get out of lockdown, you really need to stay home and don't wander around if you don't have to go out. And one of the things we learned from last lockdown when we did our phone ringing around is that a lot of our paake were isolating on their own. So you know, there were many of our paake that were on their own in their whare for lockdown. So just remembering to reach out to them, and if you know that they're a whānau in that situation, get on the phone to them and have a kōrero for, you know, a few minutes every day, just to keep that connection up with them. So that was a really big learning from last time, but that we didn't expect, actually. We didn't expect so many of our paake to be isolating on their own. So reach out and share some love.
Kia ora. Matua whare, tēnā koe te tuakana Liana. Matua whare e kōrero anō au ki te iwi?
E tautoko nā wakaro. Katahi nei kia koutou korimako. Ko koutou tō matau pau a tuku kōrero i tērā o te wā rāhui. Tainua ki tēnei wā e tuku ona wakaro kia koutou. Hoi anō e te iwi, kia haumaru, kia tiaki pai tō tātou wakapapa. Tēnā koutou kia ora tātou.
Te rapea kua ngaro a Tamzyn.
Te poropita. E huri haere nei. Kia ora tātou mena te ahu nei kai te live tunu tāua Liana. Engari e rere tonu ana ngā manaakitanga wakaro aroha ki a tātou kai ngā uri o Taranaki maunga. Puta ki te motu. Kia karo tēnei a watanga a Mateuru tā ki roto i a tātou.
Yeah. I'm just seeing some messages come up about Ngā Ruahine Iwi Health. They are running their vaccination clinics. There are some pop-ups all around the maunga. So just check in with your iwi health providers, and certainly those of our whānau that live outside of Taranaki. Please check in with the local iwi there in terms of what they are providing in terms of information, vaccinations, and also COVID testing. So we're trying to get a line into some of the other key centres where there are big populations of our people, like Tāmaki, Te Whanganui, Tara, Kirikiriroa, and we'll be sharing some of those contacts when we have those locked in with our other whanaunga around the motu.
Wonderful. Nō reira, ko ngā mihi kia kōrua. And to our whānau as well that have sent through your awesome messages. Nei ka mihi atu kia koutou katoa. We look forward to hearing from you both very soon. And keeping an eye out on our Te Kurimako Taranaki Facebook page and also our iwi pages as well. Thank you so much for joining us. Are you sure there's nothing else further that you'd like to share with our whānau before we wrap up?
Ko nawhi mo tēnei wā. Kia kaha tatai.
Ana.
Tēnā kōrua tahi. Some messages coming through from Ngā Ruahine Iwi Health as well. Operational vaccination or Kāurangi Stratford today and tomorrow. Ngā mihi kia koutou. And some gratitude messages coming through for you both, Matua Whare and Liana from Mount Wano. And again, it is because we find comfort in hearing from you both and representing our Taranaki Iwi Leaders Forum as well. So ngā mihi kia kōrua tahi, to all of our wānau, me noho ahuru i o koutou kāinga maa, huri noi tō tātou nei taukamanga. Tātura ki koutou katoa ngā wanaunga e noho mai nā ki ahi treiria, tēnei te aroha e tuku ki a koutou. Tēnā pia mau te kupu waka mutunga, Matua Wharehoka. Tēnā koe Leo, kei tōkana.
Tēnā koe Tams, tēnā tātou te wānau. Kua rangona ki ngā kōrero matua, e hangai ana ki tēnei o ngā mate kua pāngi a tātou. Tiaki, kia haumaru, kia noho ki te kāinga, pupuri, i tō kapohia tō waha, e tikana norira tēnā koutou. Kei runga, kei raro, kei waho, kei roto, hau pai marire ki a tātou. Tēnei, tihai mauri ora.
Whai marire.
Pai marire.